A shootout, also called a firefight or gunfight, is a gun battle between armed groups. A shootout often, but not exactly, pits law enforcement against criminal groups. It can also involve two groups outside of law enforcement, such as rival groups. A military term for a shootout in a combat situation would always be considered a battle, rather than a shootout. Shootouts are often portrayed in action films and Western films. September 7, 1876, Jesse James, Cole Younger, and their gang attempted to rob a bank in Northfield, Minnesota. They exchanged fire with the townspeople. Two of the gang members were killed in the firefight along with two innocent civilians. Deaths. James Younger Gang, 2, Northfield Town, the 2nd of October 26, 1881. Deputy U.S. Marshal and Tombstone City Marshal Virgil Earp, Assistant Marshal Morgan Earp, and Special Police Officers Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday faced off against outlaw cowboys Ike Clanton, Billy Clanton, Billy Claiborne, Tom McClory, and Frank McClory in Tombstone, Arizona Territory. Outcome: Clanton, McClory, 3 killed, Earps, Holliday, 3 wounded. October 19, 1882. Mechanics National Bank President Thomas O'Connor, businessman Joseph Mabry, Jr., and Mabry's son, Joseph Mabry, 3, were killed in a shootout in Knoxville, Tennessee. The incident was documented in Chapter 40 of Mark Twain's 1883 book, Life on the Mississippi. Deaths: O'Connor, 1, Mabry, 2. December 1, 1884. Legendary lawman Elfego Baker ignited an intense shootout with 40 to 80 cowboys, depending on source. In Frisco, New Mexico. Deaths: Cowboys, 4, Baker, 0. October 5, 1892. The Dalton gang attempted to rob 2 banks simultaneously in Coffeyville, Kansas, only to find themselves ambushed by lawmen and armed townspeople before they could make their escape. The gang was cornered in an alley and shot to pieces by the swarming townspeople. Emmett Dalton is the only outlaw to survive. Deaths: Robbers, 4, Townspeople. The 4th of May 1920, private agents from the Baldwin Felts Detective Agency battled with the local sheriff, the town's mayor, and a group of coal miners over an attempt by Baldwin Felts agents to evict coal miners from their homes during a strike. Deaths: Townspeople, 3, Baldwin Felts. The 7th of March 22, 1933, Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow and their friends entered a firefight with the local police who had been sent to investigate them in Joplin, Missouri. Deaths: Lawmen, 2, Bonnie and Clyde, 0. June 17, 1933, Kansas City, Missouri. In an attempt to free their friend, a criminal gang ambushed 7 FBI agents and Kansas City police at the train station as they were escorting captured fugitive Frank Nash back to prison. The FBI agents were unarmed, but the local police exchanged fire with the criminal gang. The gang unintentionally killed Nash along with the law officers. The FBI claimed that the gang included Charles "Pretty Boy" Floyd, but the evidence is debatable and contradicts with Floyd's alleged presence. Deaths: Kansas City Police, 2, Oklahoma Police, 1, FBI, 1, Nash, 1, Gang, 0. April 22, 1934, Manitowish Waters, Wisconsin. A team of FBI agents led by Special Agent Melvin Purvis attempted to ambush bank robber John Dillinger and his gang at the Little Bohemia Lodge, a hotel and restaurant being used as a hideout. The ambush was botched when a truck full of civilian conservation corps workers, who had been dining at the lodge, was misidentified as Dillinger's men by the agents, who opened fire, killing one of the civilians and wounding 2 more. Dillinger and his men briefly exchanged gunfire with Purvis's men before fleeing out the back of the lodge. FBI agent W. Carter Baum was killed, and another agent wounded, by Babyface Nelson during the gang's escape. Deaths: FBI, 1, civilians, 1, Dillinger's gang, 0. November 27, 1934, Barrington, Illinois. Notorious bank robber Lester Gillis, George, Babyface, Nelson, his wife Helen, and gang member John Chase, encountered an FBI car driven by agents Thomas Dade and William Ryan on a highway outside Barrington. Nelson pursued the FBI agents, exchanging gunfire with them, until his car was disabled. 2 more agents, Special Agent Herman, Ed Hollis and Inspector Sam Cowley, arrived on the scene and engaged Nelson and Chase in a shootout. Though Nelson was wounded 17 times by the agents, he and Chase were able to fatally injure both Hollis and Cowley. Nelson escaped, only to die that evening from his injuries. Deaths. FBI. 2. Nelson. The 1st of January 16, 1935, Ma Barker and her son, Fred, were killed by the FBI in Oclaver, Florida. Ordered to surrender, Fred opened fire. Both he and his mother were killed by federal agents after an intense, hours-long shootout in a rented house. Deaths. Barkers. 2. Lawman. 0 October 23, 1935. Gangster Dutch Schultz and cronies battle with rival mobsters from Murder, Inc. at Schultz's headquarters in the Palace Chop House restaurant in Newark, New Jersey. Deaths. Schultz Gang. 4. Murder, Inc. 0 November 1, 1950. Puerto Rican nationalists Oscar